Part of our summer culture is that we believe that we hear from God.
There's a step in which I learn that God talks to me. There's a whole nother step that says that God talks to you, and that I have the ability to accept that. And then, of course, John has the ability to speak it and share it.
Welcome back to Tempus, Divum. We first want to say we love summer.
Indeed, yeah.
Isn't this gorgeous? We're on Chris's porch, got flowers, sunshine, blue skies. So
Thank you, Samantha, for making this place beautiful.
So happy summer. This episode is about, I think it's a podcast that's a series of 3 from Ransom Heart. And it's super good.
I'm sorry, who?
Oh, right. No longer Ransom Heart.
No longer Ransom Heart.
Wild at Heart.
Wild at Heart. So,
name change.
yep.
I like it.
I do. I like it a lot. It's a good call.
So Wild at Heart podcast. Right now, the world for the last year and a half has been on fire. Like
Truth.
Anger, hatred, death.
A lot of division, just animosity, just
Yeah.
all over the place.
And I think, especially as Christians, we live from the heart, or we should live from the heart. The scripture talks about the heart so much.
Yeah.
And so John Eldredge came out with this podcast, and he invited several of his team into the studio with him to talk about this, where our kingdoms, the scripture talks about the kingdom of the heart. And we talk about kingdoms. In fact, we've been talking about kingdoms on the podcast, on Tempus Divum, Jesus Time a lot.
Yeah, and we're defining kingdom as whatever place you have that your say goes,
Yeah.
right? And so that certainly could be an external kingdom. That could be your job, maybe you're a leader of some kind, your family, whatever. So there's certainly that kingdom. But he's really talking about that inner kingdom, right? The one where ultimately you choose.
You have reign.
Yeah.
And I think about this.
If you exercise it.
If you exercise it. I love the story that's told often about the concentration camp
Right.
people, that the prisoners, that the one thing you can't do is make someone love you.
Yeah.
And that's because you are the king, you are the ruler of your heart. So in this time, in this craziness, John takes us into this way of like, okay, how do you do that then? How do you reign over your heart? How do you guard it, as the scripture says? How
Right.
do you live from it?
The wellspring of life.
How do you protect it? How do you, and also how do you help others with their hearts?
Right on.
So that's this introductory episode. We really encourage you. There's 3. Dive into all 3 of them.
Absolutely.
We'll have, as usual, some discussion questions down there, and shoot us some questions if you have them.
Yeah, I would say like right now as we record this is super timely because there are so many people, not just people, there's so much going on right now that is basically contending for your heart. Who are you going to be a part of? Who are you going to listen to? Who are you going to believe? How are you going to act? But despite the fact that it is timely right now, this stuff is timeless because whatever's going on today, the same kind of stuff goes on all the time throughout all of history. And so it is for the moment, but this is also really for all of life.
Yeah. So enjoy those, and we will see you next time.